I don't stand for nonsense. I sincerely hope the case isn't over. That was it. The last juror's decision. According to this Encyclopedia of British Law, when all members of the jury have concluded that the defendant is guilty, court proceedings are suspended and the presiding judge will deliver the final verdict and sentence. That's what it says here. The final verdict? It's over then? Oh! There's a footnote, though. A footnote? However, the defense... All 6 members of the jury are now in agreement on this case. Allow me to convey my respects for your swift and righteous decision. According to the law of this country, I will now conclude the trial by delivering my final verdict. I trust there are no objections. I trust there are no objections. I trust there are no objections, young man. Miss Usato, just tell me one thing. Oh, yes. You were in the middle of saying something before. The footnote in your Encyclopedia of British Law. However, the defense... What did it say next? Oh, yes, of course. One moment. When all members of the jury have concluded the defendant is guilty, court proceeding is suspended, and the presiding judge will deliver the final verdict as sentence. And the footnote says, however, the defense has the right to demand a summation examination of the jurors at this point. Summation? Examination?
Objection!
A summation examination? From which country has the tome you have there been resurrected? Judging from the binding, I would say the book is at least 50 years old. Any modern text on British law wouldn't even give such an antiquated procedure a mention. It's a relic, long forgotten, and certainly no longer practiced. So you're out of luck. Oh. What even is it, Miss Susato? This so-called summation examination? Oh, one moment, and I'll read about it. You would demand a right to procedure before you even understand what it entails. Typical Nipponese. Is it? Alright, Miss Naruhodo. It's not typical. It's quite extraordinary, I think. Alright, Miss Naruhodo, I think I understand. It seems that under this procedure we would be able to appeal to the members of the jury. To do what exactly? Appeal to them to change their leanings and reverse their decisions. And it says here that, if successful, the proceedings of the trial must be resumed. Make them reverse their decisions. Yes, in times gone by, barristers would use a summation examination to attempt to influence the jury's decision. But that procedure became something of a formality with no practical benefit, really, so it really fell out of use. I wonder why. Because it was devoid of purpose. Changing just one member of the jury's mind would be hard enough, let alone several. No self-respecting defense barrister would even assert his right to try this in this day and age. Well, I'm no self-respecting barrister! Still, I don't see any mention of the procedure actually being formally revoked. What are you suggesting? I'm suggesting that although it may be antiquated and largely forgotten, it isn't yet extinct. What do you think, Miss Naruhodo? A summation examination. Our last possible option. Do we assert our right to carry it out or admit defeat? We assert our right. The defense wishes to assert its right to a summation examination, my lord.
Objection!
London is the capital city of the most powerful nation on earth. We have a duty to the world to exemplify the very highest standards of judicial procedure. Summation examinations are an embarrassment that should remain buried.
Objection!
But if it is our right, it's our right. I believe it could prove vital in this trial. The defense petition is perfectly valid. The court will proceed with a summation examination. This is madness. Foreman, are you and the remainder of the jury ready? Huh? There's no mention of this in the letter I received. All members of the jury will be asked to explain on what grounds they have reached their decision. On what grounds? You must all justify your decision and explain why you believe the defendant to be guilty. Well, you're rather putting us on the spot. This is the most irregular. No mention was made of this before. I don't really hold with all of this justifying lark. It seems to have thrown the jurors off. It seems not one of them have experienced this before. Alright then, the summation examination. A defense procedure no practicing lawyer has attempted for years, is it? Well, just maybe. It might be the opportunity we've been looking for. To turn this trial around. So be it then, ladies and gentlemen of the court hereby calls upon you to state the grounds upon which you find the defendant Magnus McGilded guilty of this most serious crime. Judicial findings. The jurors' contentions. There was no one else inside the carriage at the time, so it had to have been him. I trust the driver has had an excellent memory. It seems 4 passengers with fares totaling 20 pence. He struck the chap next to him just like this. Brazen, I must say. Absolutely brazen. I've simply typed and collated all the statements made thus far and drawn a logical conclusion. You can trust the guild. Fair in our motto. We haven't raised prices about 4 pence for years. The scoundrel stabbing that poor man on the floor, it begging his belief. I'm starting to wish I hadn't pushed for this now. Some of the jurors don't seem to have wonderfully formed arguments though, do they? Well, let's see what we can do. We need to get these 6 people to change their minds. I'll have to throw everything I can at them and use some very persuasive language. Just a moment, Miss Naruhodo. According to my book, that's not quite how it works. Oh? I thought I was going to have to thaw their icy minds with some heartwarming rhetoric about the defendant. Unfortunately, once the jurors have decided the defendant is guilty, they're unlikely to heed anything the defense says. But then, they reach their conclusions by their own reasoning, you see. Your pleas will sound like excuses. In fact, it could recoil onto you. The more you try to persuade them, the more entrenched they may become. Then what on earth am I supposed to do? Oh dear, I'm just citing what I've read about the British law, Mr. Naruhodo. Right, I'm sorry. Do you have any idea how to make this work then? Well, from what I can understand, the key to this procedure is using the jurors' own words to make the arguments. What do you mean? Well, the 6 members of the jury are randomly selected members of the public. They may appear to present a united front, but the truth is, they are complete strangers who just happen to find themselves here in the courtroom together. And that's the way to break them down, you mean? Yes, exactly. We must listen very carefully to what each member of the jury says, and see if we can identify any contradictory statements. If we can, we then contrast the statements and pit the corresponding jurors against each other. I see. So it's contradictions in what two or more jurors say that we're looking for. In a way, then, this is similar to a regular cross-examination. Oh, yes, I suppose you're right. Find contradictions in their statements and pit the jurors against one another to break them down. Alright, I might be able to pull this off. No, that's not right. I have to pull this off! We can start with the proceedings, counsel. I would ask you to take the stand for this. I'm expecting a clear and concise rebuttal. Yes, my lord. Oh! Jury examination. The defense's rebuttal. This she contradicts with him. 4 passenger fares totaling 20 pence. They raise it's 4 passengers at 4 pence. So it's 16 pence, not 20 pence.
Objection!
These two statements clearly contradict each other. They do. Explain yourself, counsel. Me? Oh dear, what have I done? I swear on Silver Blaze's mane and name, I haven't the first idea what you're talking about. According to the group testimony we heard so far, there were 4 passengers on the omnibus on the night in question, and according to the coachman, Mr. Beppo, he took 20 pence in fares. Quite right, I have the precise details typed neatly here in front of me. And juror number 5 also told us the following. The fare for the omnibus is always 4 pence. That's it, a fair and convenient single piece, just the way London's carriages should be operated. But that doesn't add up at all. In fact, it leaves a glaring discrepancy in the facts. Why, man, why? 4 passengers paying 4 pence each if you do the multiplication. Ah! It would be 16 pence. Exactly. As I said, it doesn't add up. The figures are different. By 4 pence, in fact. Or precisely 1 person's fare. 1 person's fare? Yes, in other words, on the omnibus that night, it's distinctly possible. There was another passenger we've heard nothing about. Good gracious. This can't be right. The coachman of the guild are good honest men, and one and all trustworthiness is our watchword. The figures your coachman claims most certainly do not add up. Your watchword, good sir, is a fallacy. I beg your pardon? Mr. Guildmaster, I think you ought to consider that if this trial were to end now, the news will surely spread all over London. The news that one of your coachmen tried to hide the fact that he let nefarious characters ride his omnibus. Alright then, how do I make it so this miserable trial doesn't end, Well, according to my book here, you simply launch a fowl of fire onto the innocent side of the scales. Now hold your horses there, coachman. We were all in agreement. Why do you have to go and... Wait till I get my hands on you, Beppo! This is very irritating. Begging your pardon, sir. I'm going to do the same. For the love of Mike, not you as well. A penny can be the difference between a smile and a tear, after all. I certainly can't put my trust in someone who doesn't follow my exacting standards in financial matters. Oh, really? I, for one, think it's only proper that we hear from the witnesses again. Oh, well done, Mr. Naruhodo, you did it! If we can manage to change 2 more jurors' minds, we can force the trial to continue. 2 more, actually. There is something else that's bothering you about a couple of their assertions. then that's where you must strike next. So I need to pit 2 more jurors against each other and show there's another contradiction in their assertions. Exactly. You can do it.
Well, the scales of justice have shifted, but they still weigh heavy on the side of guilt. Counsel, you have the floor again. Continue your summation examination.
I'm changing my mind, leaning to it. I should like to hear what the slipshod bookkeeper has to say for himself. The scoundrel stabbing man on the floor.
Objection!
Those 2 statements are completely contradictory.
What? Explain, counsel. Post haste.
Oh, dearie me. I was only knitting the jumper for my other half.
What's all this claptrap?
What does contradictory even mean, I ask you? We've heard from more than one witness that they allegedly saw the actual moment when the defendant stabbed the victim. Now, out of curiosity, juror number 3.
What can you see I'm busy here?
How would you say the defendant stabbed the victim? What sort of motion was it?
Want to test me, do you? It was like this. Struck the fellow next to him without even getting up, just like the prim banker said. Yes, that was Mr. Fairplay's testimony, quite true.
Now then, juror number 6. Oh, that's me, isn't it? What can I do for you, young man? How would you say the defendant stabbed the victim, madam? Oh, well, dear, as far as I understand it, it was like this. He stabbed the poor man after he'd collapsed on the floor. The coachman said so.
Now don't move!
Take a look at these 2 jurors. He struck the fellow next to him without even getting up, and he stabbed the poor man after he'd collapsed on the floor.
Well, I never. They're stabbing in totally different directions.
What? Bless my stitches, what a muddle.
What this tells us is that there's a strong possibility one of the witnesses isn't telling the truth.
Oh, but why? Why the dickens would they lie? I don't know that yet, but what I do know is that if the trial ends at this point, we may never find out. We may never know the real truth. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, can you really let that happen in all good conscience? As you say, dearie me. I can't abide people telling lies. The scales. I don't believe it.
Wait! Now hear this, my fellow Joes. I warn you, you cannot listen to this man. Look at him in his black suit. He's clearly some devious Eastern sorcerer using magic on us all.
If I could use magic, do you really think I'd be putting myself through all this?
Answer me this, Dark Jinx.
Huh? Me?
What exactly is the problem? One of the 2 witnesses have slightly different recollection of events.
What of it?
Let's say the Shylock did stab the victim as he was sat next to him on the omnibus, and this young dandy saw him do it. And now let's say the victim collapsed on the floor, and then Shylock stabbed him again, and this old lady saw him do it. Well, what to say it didn't happen like that, hmm? Who are you calling a dandy, sir? Why I should take this knife to you?
What are you calling old? Why I should take this needle to you?
Ah, they're ready to kill each other now.
But could the foreman of the jury be right? Did the 2 witnesses see 2 different moments of the same crime? No, because it was only 1 stab wound in the autopsy report. Unfortunately, Mr. Foreman.
What is it, Dark Jinx? Come on, out with it.
What you're suggesting is impossible. It's out of the question.
What are you talking about, man? How can you possibly say that? You do realize I'm only doing my job. As foreman of the jury, I have a responsibility to steer everyone in the right direction. So where's your evidence, man? That's what I want to see. Say the two witnesses saw two different moments of the same crime. If you say that's out of the question, show me some proof. It looks like the only way I'm going to convince him is to present him with something he can't dismiss. Some irrefutable hard evidence. As you wish. What? I'll give you the proof. It's out of the question that the two witnesses saw two different moments of the same crime as proven by... of a single stab wound to the abdomen.
Take that!
Take that! This is the victim's autopsy report. According to what's written here, Mr. Mason was stabbed in the abdomen only once. Only once? It's quite simple. The victim was stabbed precisely one time. Which means these witnesses can't possibly have seen it happen two different times. Alright, I concede defeat. Wait, that means... 4 jurors are now leaning to not guilty. We've done it, Mr. Naruhodo. We've won! What are you playing at, you dandy fool? Shut your trap, sir. No one deceives me. But we had a consensus. I said shut your trap. I know a liar when I see one. And if that chap ever dares to cross the threshold of my shop, I'll take this razor-sharp blade and shave every last hair off his head. Please tell me he's a barber. Actually, don't tell me he's a barber. Well, it's a quite remarkable turn of events. The defense's summation examination has flipped the balance of the scales of justice. The jurors now stand at 2 for guilty and 4 for not guilty. Accordingly, there is no longer a large enough majority among the jury for me to adjudicate, and the trial must continue. I hereby ask the defense, prosecution, and witnesses to return to their places, and I call upon all of you to continue to pursue the truth,